If you have ever felt like your mind is both your greatest gift and your heaviest burden, like your intelligence opens doors but also locks you inside your own thoughts, you are not broken, you are not weak, and you are certainly not alone. Because psychology shows that high intelligence often comes with an invisible cost most people never talk about. From the outside, intelligence looks like an advantage, a shortcut through life, a golden ticket to success, respect, and ease. But inside the mind of a highly intelligent person, life rarely feels simple or peaceful. Because intelligence is not just the ability to think faster, it is the ability to think deeper, wider, and more relentlessly than most people ever do. And that depth can quickly turn into mental exhaustion. Highly intelligent minds do not simply experience thoughts, they analyze them, dissect them, replay them, and run simulations of every possible outcome, often long after the situation has passed, which psychologists describe as analysis paralysis, a state where the brain becomes trapped in constant evaluation, unable to rest, unable to shut down, and unable to enjoy the present moment. While others fall asleep easily, the intelligent mind replays conversations from years ago, questions decisions that no longer matter, and imagines futures that may never arrive, creating the painful feeling of being trapped inside a brain that never stops working. This constant overthinking does not make life easier, it makes action harder. Because when you can see 10 steps ahead, every choice feels heavy, risky, and loaded with consequences. And the fear of choosing wrong often leads to inaction, self-doubt, and quiet frustration. At the same time, highly intelligent people tend to crave depth, meaning, and substance in a world that often runs on surface-level interaction, which is why small talk feels draining rather than comforting, and shallow conversations feel like emotional starvation. It is not that intelligent people dislike others, it is that their minds seek connection through ideas, values, and insight, and when conversations revolve around gossip, repetition, or triviality, something inside them shuts down, leaving them feeling isolated even in crowded rooms. Research consistently shows that highly intelligent individuals tend to have fewer close relationships, not because they lack social skills, but because meaningful connection is rare. And pretending to care about conversations that feel empty becomes emotionally exhausting over time. This leads many intelligent people to choose solitude over company, not because they are antisocial, but because being alone is often less draining than masking boredom or faking interest. And yet this choice is frequently misunderstood by others as arrogance, coldness, or emotional distance. Adding to this burden is heightened pattern recognition, the ability to notice inconsistencies, hidden motives, emotional shifts, and unspoken tension that others miss entirely. While this skill can look impressive, it often feels like a curse because once you see manipulation, dishonesty, and predictable outcomes, you cannot unsee them, and carrying that awareness becomes emotionally taxing. Intelligent people often sense when relationships are unbalanced, when promises will be broken, or when situations will collapse long before they do. And yet speaking up can make them sound paranoid, negative, or judgmental, so they remain silent, watching events unfold exactly as expected, feeling lonely in their foresight and powerless to change what they already know is coming. On top of this awareness sits the crushing weight of expectations, both external and internal, because intelligence often leads others to assume competence in every situation, leaving little room for mistakes, vulnerability, or learning. One failure, one wrong decision, one moment of confusion, and suddenly the intelligent person feels exposed, as if their entire identity is at risk, which fuels impostor syndrome, the persistent fear of being discovered as not as capable as others believe. Psychologically, this creates chronic anxiety, because the intelligent person is no longer allowed to simply be human. They are expected to perform, to excel, to always have the answer, and when they inevitably fall short, the shame feels overwhelming. This pressure often leads to perfectionism, not the healthy pursuit of excellence, but maladaptive perfectionism, where standards become so high that nothing ever feels good enough. Wins feel hollow, and effort feels endless. Intelligent people rewrite emails repeatedly, obsess over details no one else notices, and delay action because the result might not meet their own impossible standards. And instead of motivating them, This perfectionism slowly drains their energy, confidence, and joy. At the same time, intelligent minds require novelty, complexity, and challenge to feel alive, which makes routine, repetition, and predictable environments feel suffocating rather than stabilizing. Studies show that highly intelligent individuals are more prone to boredom, not because they lack discipline, but because their brains crave stimulation, and when life becomes monotonous, their motivation collapses, often leading to procrastination, restlessness, or existential dread. Society frequently mistakes this understimulation for laziness or lack of ambition, when in reality it is a mismatch between the person's cognitive capacity and the challenges available to them, a mismatch that can cause immense frustration and self-sabotage. Another overlooked struggle is the tendency of intelligent people to question everything, including authority, traditions, social rules, and even their own beliefs, a trait that drives innovation and growth, but also creates friction in a world that rewards conformity. While others accept simple answers, the intelligent mind searches for nuance, context, and truth, which can make them appear difficult, skeptical, or rebellious, even when they are simply curious. Over time, this constant questioning can turn inward, leading intelligent people to doubt themselves just as intensely as they doubt the world, wondering if they are the problem, if they are too much, or if ignorance really would be easier. Perhaps the most painful aspect of high intelligence, however, is heightened emotional sensitivity and empathy. Because many intelligent people do not just understand emotions intellectually, they feel them deeply, absorbing the moods, stress, and pain of those around them. Psychologists refer to this as emotional contagion, where the boundaries between one person's feelings and another's blur, leaving intelligent individuals emotionally overloaded without knowing how to protect themselves. Combined with their awareness of global suffering, injustice, and existential threats, this empathy can create a heavy emotional weight, making it difficult to enjoy small pleasures without feeling guilt or sadness about the larger picture. Intelligence does not shield people from pain, it often amplifies it, because the intelligent mind sees how complex, unfair, and fragile life can be, and that awareness is not always comforting. The result is a quiet kind of misery, one that does not always look dramatic from the outside, but feels deeply personal and persistent on the inside, leaving intelligent people feeling misunderstood, exhausted, and emotionally alone. Yet none of this means that intelligence is a curse, or that misery is inevitable, because psychology also shows that suffering often comes not from intelligence itself, but from a lack of self-compassion, emotional boundaries, and environments that support depth rather than suppress it. Intelligent minds thrive when they are allowed to rest, when they are challenged without being exploited, when they are surrounded by people who value honesty and substance, and when they learn that they do not have to carry the weight of the world to be worthy. If this message felt uncomfortably familiar, know that your mind is not your enemy. It is a powerful instrument that simply needs care, understanding, and balance, and learning to treat your intelligence with kindness rather than punishment can transform it from a prison into a source of clarity, creativity, and purpose. And if you want more content that explains the hidden psychology behind human behavior, emotional struggle, and mental self-understanding, make sure you subscribe to the Knownsense, because this channel exists to help you understand your mind, protect your energy, and turn awareness into strength in a world that rarely makes space for deep thinkers.